how you guys doing? My name is Luigi Boombots, and welcome to another episode of Unusual Suspects. I'm your host, Luigi. Unfortunately, Vinny can't be here today because he's doing something stupid.
Hey.
By the way, guys, I wore this shirt and everybody thinks I'm a Guido, which they said I should wear it down here. Like, hey, what am I, a jerk? But anyway, guys, we have a great show lined up for you guys today. Let me go around and introduce everybody real quick. We have Shane. We have Umberto, whose hair is equally or maybe a little bit better than mine. I'm not gonna.
Jury's out.
It's out. Alicia's in the house.
Hey.
Rob is here. He's on the internet.
Hello.
God knows what the hell he's on there doing. Guys, the stories today. We have a lot of stories. We have late breaking stories, but let me go over the stories really fast. We have a government coup. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about Mar-a-Lago and the price of Mar-a-Lago, which apparently fluctuates if it's CNN is reporting it. Umberto, we're going to talk about Cashless Society. Lisa's going to tell us a little something about Megan Fox, and I just see blood. Already interested. And we're going to find out about Nickelodeon in this documentary. But before we go there, I want to give, guys, if you haven't downloaded this app, Minnect, I'm telling you guys right now, I actually used it this morning. And a guy about something about religion, about Christianity. But guys, if you haven't downloaded Minnect, if you want to connect with professionals on any level, like Kelly's on there, Rob is on there. If you want to, like, Kelly can help you build a channel and content and graphics. Umberto, whatever you guys want to know. Alecia, Shane about writing and stories. And what was your major in college?
Writing and philosophy. So you want to talk to me about, the existence of God or like.
Oh, you want to talk about Nietzsche or something?
Yeah.
Stupid?
Talk
to this guy.
Yeah.
Rob is on there as well. If you want to know anything about producing, about stories, about being able not to wear pants during a podcast.
Correct. I also sell photos of my feet. If you're
sells photos of his feet. Hey, great, because we're going to be talking about Nickelodeon. A lot of foot fetishes going over there.
Wow.
Yeah,
Alicia, are you on there too?
Not yet.
She's going to get on there today. So if you want to get yelled at by somebody, Alicia's your girl. Anyway, and guys, so that being said, late breaking news, Candace Owens and the Daily Wire split. About an hour ago, Jeremy Boring from the Daily Wire tweeted, Daily Wire and Candace Owens have ended their relationship. Kind of wild. People say that they saw it coming. What's the next tweet, Kel, that we're gonna see? Is this Candace Owens' tweet? Kelly, can you put that up? Candace posted a little while ago, and she said, "The rumors are true. I'm finally free. If you would like to support my work, you can head to CandaceOwens.com, where you will be directed to my locals page. Or you can give a gift at GoCandace.com. There will be many announcements in the weeks to come." She had a flag on there with the cross. God bless her. What a great picture of Candace just chilling on the street. Look at her face in that photo. She looks like she's telling the truth. And the flag is behind her.
Is there any bad pictures of her? I never
No,
seen
there
one.
isn't. There actually isn't. And Kelly sent me something that people. So this is one. These are people that are responding at the top. Chris, you can show me who you are not allowed to criticize, and I will show you who actually rules over you. Oh, it's time to dump influencers like Ruben and Shapiro. They've always been an Israel first psyop masquerading as conservatism. This is the loss for the Daily Wire with Candace. Carmen Mastroangelo says, classic. Can't wait for the mutual decision statement, but then comes out to find out we did like her taking points that she didn't agree to stop. Of course they did. Kanye, who you think created cancel culture? W for Candace. And Kelly, can I just read some of the ones that I have on here? All right, so guys, this is abuse. Somebody wrote, Rivden Ayamadir. She abused the Daily Wire platform for too long. This is good. The boomer mentality, another tweet. The boomer mentality of dutifully defending Israel, even when they do terrible things, is hurting conservatives and pushing young people away. And another guy goes, that's good. Did she decide you guys were too cringe for her or what? What else did she say? And then anyway, guys, there's mixed emotions. People, by the way, I read the comments. A lot of them are good for her. She's anti-Semitic. Get rid of her. Good riddance to bad rubbish. And as you guys see with people like Vivek and a couple other people, they're mixed emotions. I'm going to go around. Umberto, what do you think about this whole situation? Because you love her. You have a photo of her with you on her desk, your desk.
I do.
Yeah.
And I still love the Daily Wire. And to the people of the ADL, I'm 100th Jewish, so I, just to put it out there.
Put that out
just
there.
to put it out there, and he just said my two.
I'm a Semite. I'm a Syrian. The Syrians are Semites.
Syrians are Semites. We saw this coming from a mile,
Yep.
you know? And I don't know what, like, I think she's going to do great by herself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think the Daily Wire, like, as a private company, you know, they have the right to, like, choose who they promote, who they have in their team. And the market will decide. You know, I'm a big libertarian. Let the market decide.
Yeah.
She didn't want to work there. You know, I believe in freedom of, you know, work, freedom of everything. So if she doesn't align with their goals and she goes on the other side, we're gonna see. Time will tell.
And what was the initial thing, Shane? We were talking about I remember obviously it was the Israel conflict. And let's just be honest, okay? Vivek made a very interesting point. Nobody can criticize anything that Israel does. Zero. I have yet to hear one argument where the other person, an Israeli or a Jewish person, went, yeah, you know what? You're kind of right. Zero. Every single time I've heard somebody even attempt to criticize, it goes to, you're an anti-Semite, you don't give a shit. What about the children? They're usually, but if you even have a little care about children, if you just stop and go, okay, listen, 35,000 dead, the majority of them are women and children. Can we kind of shift? Oh, what? What about? Oh, you don't they use children as shields or what? What, you pro Hamas? It's like no.
You know what? We talked about this yesterday in the Saucecast, okay? And two progressive girls were on the show, and they brought up the same argument about the children.
Yeah,
like I don't know if everyone knows where Israel is. It's not an island. You know, it's surrounded by other Arab countries that put up walls. Like, I think every war, the first thing you do is to put children and women out of harm's way.
Yeah.
And they're not taking in all these children. They have nowhere to go, you know?
Yep.
And I don't know. Like, I'm against killing children. You know?
Everybody is.
I'm against terrorism.
Yep.
I'm for countries defending their own borders. Like any other country that has been thrown a missile, they will react.
Yeah.
So I'm very split on this decision.
What about you?
My problem is that, Candace's original tweet was, no government anywhere has a right to commit a genocide ever. There is no justification for a genocide. And for this, Ben Shapiro said that she's been disgraceful and went into that at that talk he gave that was recorded. I don't know if he knew about it, but when he
was standing on the table with his shoes on like a savage.
That was back in like November.
Yeah. Take your shoes off.
So you know you're being recorded.
He knows you're not stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, you're one of the most influential people in political conversations in
a room. Oh, he knows. He knows.
No, you're going to be
filmed
when you're
take your shoes off is what I'm saying.
I think Ben wants to make sure that he is still good with the Jewish community because they were asking him, why are you platforming this person who's speaking so poorly about Israel? But here's my problem. A lot of the same exact people in the media who were destroying Trump, attacking him for putting kids in cages for defending our border, are the same ones defending Israel, bombing children left and right. Mm-hmm. So if you have a problem with Trump even defending our borders and just temporarily detaining families, then how can you support a country using modern technology to pinpoint and blow up children with drones?
I saw
you are a hypocrite on the biggest level. So if you in any way are liberal, and sorry to say, but a lot of Jewish people are Democrats. I mean, I think 90% or something like that. So you are defending, you're attacking Trump all day long, and you're on the media and you're ranting and raving. But then you also have to, then you also play this game where actually Israel can violate, genocide codes in the UN, and Israel can do all these things. So the hypocrisy is too much. I understand that on the conservative side of the Zionist equation, they're not as much against Trump, but they still were against Trump in large part originally. And I just think it's like I think the moral inconsistency has caught up to them.
I think so. What do you think, Alecia?
I think she's honestly going to skyrocket. Like, I think so being independent, she's just going to be able to say and do what she wants now and not have to worry about anybody. Yeah.
Well, I mean, but and if you think about it, it's freedom of speech. It's the First Amendment, and I get it. You're somewhere where again, you're bumping heads with Ben, but it's like I've watched every single speech. By the way, guys, I'm at UFC, and I'm telling you guys, I'm with this woman for the entire time, from when I walked into the backstage, which was an amazing experience. I was there with Pat and Dana, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. Donald Trump is sitting in front of me, and I'm with her. Insane. We are clowning and laughing and enjoying life. Yeah, we're talking about subjects. We're talking about, stuff that's happening in the news, but it was so engaging. But
the video of you guys, it was literally like the video of you guys.
Oh yeah,
it was like if you were best friends.
She's a great. So to come at her with like this anti-Semitic, she hates Jews. I hate that tactic, and especially with the interview that she just did with, who was the guy, Rob? Not Shmuley. There was another rabbi she just did a
yeah. I forgot his name.
She just you find out the name for me. So she did this podcast with him, and he's sitting there, and every single thing that she said, think about it. She called Rabbi Shmuley's daughter a hag, which, by the way, guys, I've been calling people hags. My grandmother, you freaking old hag. Think about how far you're reaching to call somebody anti-Semitic or racist. That he goes, did you not know in 1700 and there was it's like, bro, you should have seen her face. It's like, bro, you're reaching. She doesn't hate Jewish people.
But they always do that. It was the same thing when she was at one of her, she was at a conference and someone was like talking about the LGBT community and she was like, I'm not against gays and lesbians. She's like, one of my best friends is lesbian. I don't care. It's not about that. But you guys are reaching so much to make it something that it's not.
They have to. And
what was his name?
Vivek had a great point. They label anything they disagree with as anti-Semitic these days. The problem is when you start to put those labels on anything, right? True. When anything becomes anti-Semitic, when anything becomes racist, when anything becomes homophobic, then nothing becomes homophobic. Nothing is racist because you've watered it down so much that now everything is, so it loses that meaning. And so they've done that with anti-Semitism. They've done it with the LGBT rights movement where you water down the
meaning of the word.
Exactly, yes, where it now, it's anti-Semitic, okay, and you just move along, that's racist, okay. Yeah. But the normal everyday person hears it so much, they're like, I don't really care anymore, I'm burnt out on it.
Yeah. And it shuts down, but then think about Robbie, it shuts off, the conversation stops. It stops. And guess what? Once somebody hears that, like if right now I just went like, Umberto, racist, and they print that, it's over for you. It's over because that's the worst thing you could call somebody because how are you going to defend it? No, I'm not. Hey, I have proof. No, that label is so destructive and it's so divisive. I hate it.
You own it. You own it and you explain away. Because that's what it is. Never apologize. Nope. And these labels, like, can you give me the name of the guy?
Yeah, so his name is Rabbi Barkley.
Okay, Barkley. I want to make a point about that guy. Okay. I watched the whole thing. She asked him, what is anti-Semitism? It took him 20 minutes.
Yeah,
20 minutes to define it.
He turned into Pooh and given the...
Yes, it took him 20 minutes to define it, and then he was like, he pretty much said, like, whatever I say is anti-Semitic, that's what is anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
Like, we need clear definitions, you know?
And what were you...
So I was going to say, I was just looking at the timestamps. There's a part where they talk about her past Hitler comments, and apparently this guy wrote that she defended Hitler and praised Hitler.
Yes.
So she played him the clip where she does not do that, and then he still insisted on his point. So... like just the I don't know, just like the immorality of sticking to your point when you've been disproven is just so dishonest. Like,
and mind you, and again, and I go back to this multiple times. I have multiple conversations happening on Minnect, on the app, with people that, once they hear me say something on the podcast, it's, what, you don't know your history, you don't know. And by the way, I engage back. What year did England grant Israel the land in Palestine? 1946 or 47? Yeah. I go, listen, you got land surrounded by basically your enemy. Okay, I'm Assyrian. We don't have a country. Where Baghdad is, that's where Assyria was. You know why? We were at war and the Muslims, and guess what? That's that territory. And when I keep asking people, because think, this all comes down to that day. It's October 7th. Let's not forget. Still to this day, it's almost 6 months. They asked John Kirby 6 months ago, John Kirby, Secretary of Intelligence, whatever, that freaking piece of crap. Hey, asshole, what happened on October 7th? You know what he said? Now's not the time. It's been almost 6 months. Now I'm asking the questions of what happened? What actually happened?
When will it be the time?
Guess what they tell me? You're anti-Semitic. Right. And guess what the argument turns into, Rob?
Hitler.
Hitler. Oh, you don't care about I go, time out. To hell with Hamas. I hope they all die. I hope everybody, Hamas, they all die and they go to hell. Yep. Okay, let's put that out of the way. God rest all the souls. I feel so bad. I know they have a video of what Hamas did. my heart goes out to all those people. But if you don't know how that day happened, so for 6 hours up to 12 hours, pandemonium, hell broke loose, and you're the most intelligent place on the security-wise failed, and you guys still don't want to know what happened. What are we even talking about? Because if you found out that the intelligence community turned their backs and let it happen, what would you do? And that's because that's a big question. Nobody can answer it.
No, we can answer it, and I'm going to double super cancel, and I'm going to bring the Daily Wire and Candace back together because nobody wants to point out what's the problem. There's something that unites the Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, Candace, us, everything, and nobody wants to say this. Okay? There's a certain group of people that are against the West. This is a battle. It's Western society that throws rockets into the moon, forwards, rights, civil rights, everything. It's the Western society that is being attacked. Okay? And when we single out, Israel as the only ones that are fighting this war, because we're in a war. It's Western world against undeveloped world. I'm sorry to say it.
Yeah.
Can I challenge that? Because I know what you're saying, and of course there is some similarities between Israeli culture and America's, but the problem that America First people have with Israeli foreign policy and what Israel does is they kick the beehive, and America has to foot the bill. So America First people are afraid that Israel is going to start a world war that America is going to have to spend all of its money and all of its arms and all of its young men fighting. So when Israel and when the Jewish community want to create a country that's as big and powerful as America and take care of itself, I'm all for it. They can go do that. But until then, we are going to have to go bail them out time and time again when they kick the beehive. Yeah. That's the problem. It's not because the way that they frame it is oh, we're nationalists and you're nationalists. We're over here minding our own business. You Americans, you hang out over there and mind your business. But that's not how it is. We're the world's policeman, but we can't decide what they do. So it's basically we have a cop on our force who can go and start fights, and we all have to bail him out with all of our time and money and get beer bottles hit over our heads. Yeah. But we can't tell him to stop starting fights. How is that fair?
Shane, I think I agree with you, but I'm going further than this. We have Western civilized world, and we have non-civilized world. And nobody's brave enough to go the West is the best. And the Israel thing will be part of the crusade. I'm going to say it. We need a crusade against the undeveloped.
But we are brave enough. It's just we've been told not to be by the same people who support Israel.
They're coming in with their third world shit to our country. They're going to Europe. They're going to here. They're making ghettos. They're putting their freaking laws.
Yeah, and who's pushing all those policies? A lot of the times, people who support Israel.
The left.
But people who support Israel that are Democrats.
I grew up in the Middle East.
He is right. And I feel your passion. And he's right.
Ask the Lebanese guy. There are still beautiful country destroyed.
I know, but there are still
beautiful country destroyed.
There's still Jewish people who support open borders. After all this, there's still people who are Jewish who support mass immigration from Islamic countries. Explain that to me. How does that make any sense?
What do you mean?
It doesn't make sense.
Take our border, for instance. Alejandro Mayorkas, that piece of scum, he's Jewish. Yeah. Our border's wide open, and he sits there, and he smirks, and he supports Israel. Of course. And it's enough is enough. And guess what, guys? How much money have we given to Israel? And I got into this argument with this guy on Minnect. I think it's 4-point-some billion a year.
Yeah.
In the past
It's over 300 billion. Since World War II.
Okay, so guess what? I have the right as an American, when my freaking tax dollars are going to support a country, I can be critical of anybody. And guess what? That whole, you're anti-Semitic. Number one, I'm a Semite. Number two, they go, no, what about the Holocaust? You don't care. I go, guys, I had nothing to do with it. I'm not German. I have no bloodline from over there. I'm an American. And America comes first. Plain and simple. And for somebody like Candace, God bless her, to be guys, we keep sending money. We keep doing this. We keep doing all that. Enough. When is enough?
But Vinny, this is a small time scuffle. The problems that we have, they're worldwide and they're bigger. And we have this bickering and division, but we need to fight for the West. We need to fight for America. America was the first country to tell the English to kick rocks.
Yeah.
Because this country was funded on an idea of freedom and liberty. And that's what we need to propel against the world. Not democracy, but freedom and our Constitution. That's what it is.
What do you think?
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. But it's and again, because we're going to move to the next story, but it's by the way, it's when you can't speak your mind, when you're demonized and just pulverized by one side, it's we see what's happening, and it's like, well, these people are really in control to where you can't say shit or you get canceled and you get fired. And it's like if you can't speak your mind, then we lost. We lost the war. That's why the First Amendment. Bro, I talked about this yesterday. I'm gonna move on. How amazing were the forefathers of this freaking country that they wrote? They wrote the Constitution, and you know what they said? They're the ones writing it. You know what they realized? Oh shit. This power is going to get out of control, so we got to give them freedom of speech. We got to let them have guns. We have to let them the freedom of press. We have to let them organize because we know what we have. Yeah. And it's going to get crazy.
And they said, don't get into any foreign entanglements. Washington was very clear on that. Do not get involved in the old world. They have all these problems. They're going to be killing each other till the end of time. Don't get involved. And what did we do? We got involved.
Oh, we get involved. And now, and
the Bible, the Constitution, the two best
books in the world. All right, guys, we're going to move on. All love to Candace. We love her. I hope the best for her.
And I hope the best for the Daily Wire, too.
And I respect Daily Wire. Listen, Daily Wire, like you said, is a private-owned company. They can make their own decision. And, both parties will be happy and flourish, and that's it. So that being said, the first story, Rob, you talked about the government coup. What's going on and what the hell's... Are we scared?
Okay.
Should we be scared?
Yes. Well, Ron Paul appeared on Tucker Carlson this week where he talked about a few interesting things. What I really want to talk about are Black Swan events. Part of the interview on X with Tucker, with Ron Paul, focused on Black Swan events. But I want to play some backstory first. This is Ron Paul on Tucker Carlson, where he talks about this according to some Mediaite article from March 20th. Ron Paul tells Tucker Carlson the exact day there was a coup and we lost our government. Kelly, if you could play clip number 1. This is from this week's Tucker Carlson interview with Ron Paul.
I say it was concrete that there was a coup and we
put the volume up?
Our government was November 22nd.
Yes.
The assassination of Kennedy.
That was 60 years ago, and our lawmakers never talk about it.
But you mentioned to me earlier and brought back in memory, but do you know who they appointed to the commission? Alan Dulles.
He was on the Warren Commission.
Yeah.
So the guy who was responsible for the murder.
He probably was the most...
was investigating the murder.
That's dawned on me. The Republic is gone. That's when I said the day it ended.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a former congressman coming out and stating that there was a coup on November 22nd. And by all indications, what JFK wanted to do was dismantle the CIA, which was run by Alan Dulles, which gives the motive for Alan Dulles to then have Kennedy assassinated, which then leads to, like they said, the JFK assassinated, the Warren Commission, which investigated the assassination. That was directed by the guy that ordered the hit.
Turned out I didn't do it.
Yeah, weird.
I'm clear of this murder that I clearly had motive to do. But part of this this interview is very interesting. The way the media covered it. Here's a BizPac review article from March 20th where the headline, Insider, Tucker sits down with Ron Paul, says he correctly predicted most of the big disasters of the last 20 years. Here's a clip from, I want to say, Kelly, the tweet may have it. I don't know the year. What year? 5 billion, 10 years ago. This is Ron Paul talking about why the United States should not be involved in any type of escalation of war in Ukraine, especially when it comes to Ukraine-Russia.
We've already spent $5 billion over the last 10 years trying to pick and choose the leadership of Ukraine. And then we participated in the overthrow of the Yanukovych government. And this is when this recent stuff really stirred up. But we've been involved too much, and I take a non-interventionist foreign policy position. It's not our business. It doesn't serve anybody's interest. It's part of the same thing that led us into the disaster in the Middle East. So a lot of people die, and a lot of money is spent, and we're still suffering the consequences of the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. And there's the threat of the war in Syria. We don't need another threat. The American taxpayers don't want it, and our government thinks they can get away with, well, I know the people don't want a war yet, but we're going to play games, and we're going to threaten Russia, and we're going to put on sanctions. And they fail to recognize that we have $500 billion of investments in Russia. Russia has $450 billion invested in the West, and all we're doing is trying to stir up more trouble. It makes no sense whatsoever So it makes a lot of sense for us to mind our own business and let somebody over there solve their own problem.
I'd love to hear what you guys think about that clip. That was 10 years ago. That's his views on Ukraine in 2014. Here we are in 2024.
Who was talking about Ukraine back then? Who like that just shows how studious Ron Paul is, that he paid attention to everything while everyone else is caring about the stupid thing back then, whatever that was, Obamacare. And meanwhile, the CIA, or New York Times came out with a report that the CIA has been training Ukraine for 10 years to take on Russia in war. They were building them spy bases all along the border and doing drills and trainings and everything. So it's like, well, they're just orchestrating shit. And then the only people who pay attention are Ron Paul. And then the media is like, Ron Paul, he's crazy. He's nuts.
Because there's no secret. Because at the end of the day, Shane, it's no secret. America is a war-like country. We love war. Okay, if there's no war, by the way, I forgot who it was. They're like, dude, what do you think we're making all these missiles and bullets for? We got to use them.
We don't like war. Our corporations.
I'm saying the country, the government. That's why when a president like JFK is like, hey, I don't want people going to Vietnam dead. You don't talk shit like that. And that's why you see all the debates that we went to, Rob. Everybody and their mother was war. We got to go to Ukraine. And that's why Trump, at the end of the day, no wars, no terrorism, wiped out ISIS, but he was the bad guy.
And what's happening to him?
Yeah, no shit. What were you saying?
And hold on real quick. It's funny. You said like everybody there on the stage, because I remember watching Miami when we went. Everybody at that debate was going, we must help Ukraine secure their border.
Yeah.
But not one of those motherfuckers gave a shit about our own border.
Zero.
If you saw the footage yesterday, National Guards people were being overtaken by illegal immigrants.
And then
people are just like, oh, that's interesting. Scroll on to the next thing.
And Vivek asked every single one of those guys on that stage, including Nikki Haley, who's the most in favor of Ukraine, named 3 provinces in Ukraine.
None of them.
Couldn't name.
remember
They
that.
couldn't name any.
Yeah.
This is what Eric Prince said on the PBD podcast. He's like, you guys want half the countries all in support of Ukraine. They can't find on a map.
Yeah.
So why should we care what they say? They're not. They don't know shit.
Yeah.
Like,
I've been following this guy for 15 years.
Ron Paul?
Ron Paul. If I can define my political views, Ron Paul. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, he is a common sense extremist. He calls it out how it is. Like, every single time. Iraq war, Ukraine. Like,
He's the truth. He's the truth.
He's not a genius.
No, but
he's not nothing
smart.
special, but he just calls it out. Common sense. If we give these people money and pit them against these other people, there's going to be a disaster. And he's been calling it.
So, very interesting point. You said he's calling people out. He has been for a long time. You said Ron Paul has been paying attention to things that nobody else is paying attention to. 2014, he's talking about Ukraine. Everybody else is talking about Obamacare. I'd like you to pay attention to this article. This came out from the Daily Caller. This is more coverage of the Tucker Carlson Ron Paul interview. By the way, if you have not watched it, go watch it on X. The title, very, very dangerous. Ron Paul tells Tucker Carlson Americans should prepare for a black swan event. Kelly, could we play a few seconds of this clip where we don't have to play the entire thing, but we could just start it and just take a listen to what Ron Paul is warning people. Again, Ron Paul paying attention to things nobody else is paying attention to. Here he is talking about a black swan event in the United States.
I think we're reaching this point where some sudden thing is going to happen. I believe in that theory of the black swan.
Yes.
It's going to pop up, and it's not going to be controllable. But people, you ask, what can they do? I think the most important thing is understand what's going on, is education. That's why I happen to have a homeschooling program, and I try to teach this stuff early, because you can't change it. You can't go in and say, okay, you want $50 an hour. We can't do that, but we'll have a compromise with the other people. We'll just give you $32 per hour, guarantee. That kind of nonsense. You have to be able to, tell them what they have to do. One is to protect the money. One is to protect your wealth. But when I go through this, when people really want to know some details, and I get a little more in detail, I said, but really the most important thing you do is study and understand what's going on. Because if you come away from that and you're able to accumulate a lot and get by, and you have your guns and you have stored food and all that, it's not going to work. You have to understand what's happening. You have to know it's coming, It's very, very dangerous, and that's why I love to see smaller units of government. Anything that
We're good there,
hints
Kelly.
that says
So
he's even saying having guns, having food isn't going to work because you have to understand the threat that's coming. So, yes, you can have all the guns you want. You can have all the food, but you need to understand the threat that's coming to prepare for the threat. According to Wikipedia, yes, we'll get to this in a second. A black swan event is a theory of events that are a metaphor that describe an event that comes as a surprise, has a major effect, and is often inappropriately rationalized after the fact with the benefit of hindsight. Characteristics of black swan events are highly unexpected. They have a major impact, explained in hindsight. Examples of black swan events include major scientific discoveries, natural disasters of unprecedented scale, the rise and fall of empires, and disruptive inventions. In fact, a list of previous black swan events: COVID-19, 9/11, 2008 financial crisis, the rise of the internet, the fall of the Berlin Wall. And then there is an article, the Great Reset in Global Agriculture, 9 black swan events for 2024.
9, great.
Yeah, where
great.
we have 9 different things we have to prepare for.
Freaking great.
Agro-industry stagflation, China unraveling, an energy crisis, political deglobalization, interest rate inflation, labor migration, climate volatility, continuing regulatory pressure, and number 9, technological advancements. So my question to you guys, because there is a story coming up that we'll talk about in just a second, but my question to you guys, are you preparing for a black swan event? Are you concerned about black swan events? And if so, what are you concerned they'll be? Vinny?
I already have food. I already have my plan, my strategy. I am armed, even though he's saying, the guns and the.
Yeah, you're gonna need them.
I think it's gonna hit. I have a couple of ideas of what I think the predictive programming that they did with Leave the World Behind. I mean, they've been testing the black. What's it? With the power one, not the power with the
power
cyber
attack.
attack. I'm fucking like an idiot. The cyber attack. It's either going to be a cyber attack. I think with the terrorists that they've already allowed in on purpose. We just caught the Hezbollah guy in Texas going, by the way, the most honest terrorist ever. He's like, I wanted to go to New York to do a bomb. What? Like, he's telling you to your stupid fucking face. And Mayorkas sits there with his dumbass grin. And by the way, these people, the Mayorkas, the presidents, all these people that are doing all these policies, they're going to be protected. I pray to God, because I'm sick and tired of seeing all these innocent people, the Lake and Rileys, all these families losing people. It should be their families. It should be them. It should be their, but they're never going to get touched.
They all have estates out in like Wyoming and Idaho and like Northern California to go run off to. When Dianne Feinstein died, they had an article about all of her different properties. I was shocked. It was like mansions all over the place, all in remote areas. And when COVID happened, I remember, I'm never going to forget this. All of the people I followed on Twitter, who were all media and politicians and people, they were all putting up pictures of them at their compounds, far away from the cities.
No shit.
Far away from the Madden crowd. And I'm stuck in D.C. where there's no one else but homeless people, and they're closing down all the stores. Yeah. So I was like, oh, great, cool. I'll just go die.
Yeah. By the way, I want you to answer this question. We should find out how we could track Mark Zuckerberg's flying patterns. The moment he flies to Hawaii, that should be a warning sign, because that's where his bunker is being built, the $200 million bunker. If that alien son of a bitch flies to Hawaii, that's when you know shit's going to hit the fan, because he's going to go underground.
I hate to use Rob as an example,
but he loves it.
But I saw your Tesla saga, like how disrupted your life was and how miserable you were with all the shenanigans with your car, and people don't understand like how complex and delicate modern society is. The smallest thing can throw everything out the window. And that's why, and this is not even like Mark Zuckerberg, those people, forget about them. Like, because once we're disconnected from the internet, whatever, those people cease to exist. They didn't exist before we had the internet. They didn't exist. We had telecommunications, and they will cease to exist. Yeah. What you need to know, and this is up to you at home, you need to be prepared. You know, my dad, he drilled into us. Like, he will make us fix the car. You see, I'm pretty handy. Yeah. He will take us camping. Like, every month, we'll do one camping trip, minimal everything.
Yep.
So we know how to cut down a tree. We know how to prepare food. We know how to hunt.
Yep.
When shit broke loose in Chile, first thing I did, gun training so I can get my gun.
Smart.
Gun training.
Smart.
Because I know it's going to be me and my family against the elements. And that's what we forget. That's the essence of being humans.
Yeah.
We, like, one thing that, like, we can, I mean, everyone, like, the most notable feature of humans is how they survive.
Yeah.
You have Hindu guys that only eat vegetables and they survive for 100 years, and then you have the Inuits that live in the snow and just eat seal. You know,
Blubber, whale
and everything
blubber.
in between. So I don't want any crying, any bullshit. We're 1 second away from everything being disrupted. Get protection, have a plan. The plan is everything. And what he said is so right. Understand the threat. Because a nuclear attack is different from a cyber warfare, is different from a civil war, is different for everything.
The power goes out.
The power goes out. That's different.
We're in bad shape because everybody's in a turn. If you
Some
think the toilet paper for COVID was bad and Costco, you had a little problem getting fucking groceries
Yeah.
and toilet paper,
Well-
you're screwed.
I completely agree with you, Humberto. I just got to say, like, it is completely true. You need to be prepared and everything. But I almost feel, I agree with Ron Paul, your guns and your stuff don't really matter that much because I almost feel like the prepping stuff is a sign of cowardice. It's like what's most important is paying attention and forming a political fight and push it back to them and reclaim civilization.
Before it happens.
Before it happens.
Good luck.
Because-
But what I'm saying, good luck with, like,
But we have to try because even when shit hits the fan, the government is still going to have all their planes and helicopters and Humvees,
Yeah.
and they can come to your little shitty bunker and round you
Take
up.
all your shit.
So
what
what
would
the
be-
hell are you
so
going to do
you're-
then? Then you have no political will or coalition.
So let me
or
ask you a
anything.
question. What do you think? What step can we take, we the people, to get out there and get in front of it and basically stop them from doing some shit like that? Because they're already testing. If it is, let's just say, going to be the cyber attack, they've already tried it twice. It's not like they're hiding. That they're showing it in front of our faces. What do you think that would?
Well, I mean,
'cause I'm all in.
I mean, like, honestly, it's like you got to get Trump in there, or at least RFK or someone like that. First of all,
Yeah.
second of all, we need to kind of form some kind of political fight
Coalition.
away from the elections, to have some kind of say in everything that's going on. I mean, how that will take shape, we'll see. But I know it's going to happen because something has to.
What do you think, Alecia?
Yeah,
Like, what do you think
I think we need to shed light on the situation, bring it to in front of more people because I don't really think they're really aware of everything that is going on.
You think we can? You think they'll listen? There's so much distraction. There's so much. And by the way, I'm all in, like I said earlier. But what I'm saying is, you think people are? I think people have so much shit going on, they can give two shits.
I think it's also part of, I think that's the design, is that it's, hey, keep them panicked about how they're going to pay their next bill with increasing prices and inflation. Keep them panicked about job cuts. Keep them scared, right? Because
Keep them
people are
fighting about
scared.
transgenders in sports.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
when they're distracted, when they're fighting, when they're worried about their bills, they're not able to focus on the greater good, the collective, which is banding together, looking past maybe your differences on should a lady be able to be in a ladies' locker room without a guy coming in going, I identify as a lady, then whacking off in the corner and playing. Like, we should look past that and look at the things that we can agree on at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Let's look past these small little things that they keep forcing us to fight
Yeah.
about by pushing it and propagating it and putting it in our faces.
Yeah.
Focus on the collective,
And-
the greater
and-
good.
and you just made me think
I
of
hate the greater good. Like, because the thing is, we
know.
can be shit.
Yeah.
We can get because the greater good that makes genocide.
Okay, I understand what you mean,
That
but
makes
what
genocide.
Rob is talking about isn't the I'm gonna do in your favor,
No,
but
no,
just
no.
don't
This
question
comes-
me. He's
this-
talking about like
listen
a
to me.
populist.
This comes to small everyday decisions. I have a 2000 Dodge pickup that I can pull apart. You know, I can take the brakes out. I can change the carb. I can change everything. So we're shit out of luck. I'm gonna find the first delivery truck. I know all the parts fit, and I'm gonna be on my way.
Can you make those parts from scratch though?
No, you can't make the parts,
Yeah,
from scratch,
so
but I know they're
you're
readily
fucked.
available. So, like, there's so much we can do as a group. But at the end of the day, you're born alone, you die alone. That's
true.
what it is.
Yeah, but and by the way, it's just funny that we're talking about this. Look at how. And by the way, I love it, Shane. I love, like, this is the conversation that people need to be having. But you'll talk about distraction. There's people right now probably sitting in this office right now going, Michael Jordan is way better than LeBron. It's not even like, because think about the distraction. Think about all the
Yeah.
sports.
Yeah.
Think about all the bullshit that we fight about. I wish we could slap everybody in the head and be like, hey, none of that matters. Who gives a shit? Look at what's happening right now, because guess what? If people like Ron Paul are saying it, if people like Elon Musk are saying it, if people like Mark Zuckerberg are building shit, guys, it's coming.
Yeah.
I'm not a fear mongerer. it's been too long since 9/11 for something big. They have another one down the pipe.
Nobody has to say it. We have one task in life is remaining alive.
Yes.
That's the only rule.
Yeah.
Just like stay alive. Okay, we're so far removed from staying alive and from eating, from finding food, that these things come as a surprise. Come on, you just need to stay alive, move, and reproduce. That's what defines life.
Part of staying alive is forming political coalitions, though, because that's you live through other people. Ultimately, even if you don't want to admit it, you like the family, the county, the state. Like that is how our form of life is reproduced. I mean, even if you go back all the way to the very beginning, you're a hunter-gatherer tribe. The only way that you were allowed to be the only way that you're allowed to be a rugged individualist is because of modern technological capitalistic society. Because you're not fucking living on your own in the Stone Age. But
no.
I do agree that ultimately you have to figure out your own stuff.
Okay, let's go to Rob because
yes, I just like to say there is one thing to wrap this conversation up with to be prepared for coming April 8th, so just a few weeks away. This is from the Daily Mail. Okay. Solar eclipse causes widespread cell phone disruptions in America. And next month, solar eclipse could cause widespread cell disruptions for millions of Americans, officials warn. This actually happened during a solar eclipse in 2023. Americans experienced widespread cell disruptions. And on April 8th, we will have another solar eclipse, which may disrupt that cellular activity. So be prepared. Maybe it's coming on April 8th. Or just make sure you charge your shit.
Wait, you mean to tell me you're not going to be able to watch porn on the 8th on your phone?
I have it downloaded, so I don't need Wi-Fi.
All right, so we're good. So guys, be prepared.
1 second. Mindset. Mindset is everything. If you're the first on the jump and you know the shit is beyond repair, be violent. Move in violence and silence. You can get all the food that Vinny bought. If you get to his house first, he's good.
With your guns, but have a bigger car. You can't have like a Mini Cooper because you're not going to fit. You're going to have one toilet paper and one can.
You just go steal the nicest car.
Yeah, that's what you do.
But once everything breaks down, move in silence and violence. That's what it is, boys.
I love it. All right, moving on. Next story. Shane.
Yes.
Flip-flop Mar-a-Lago. All of a sudden, it's worth more than $18 million now?
Yeah, so I was so pissed when I saw this that I changed my topic. I was originally going to talk about homeless people in Florida, but this made me so mad.
And he was mad.
I was mad.
He was pissed?
He was angry.
I was writing this
all right,
article.
so yeah, go for it.
So, all right. I mean, I would say let's just play the clip, but let me just read one thing.
Go ahead.
So, for those who haven't been following the saga, Attorney General Alecia Daniels accused Trump, his adult sons, and other executives at the Trump Organization of participating in a conspiracy to commit numerous acts of fraud and misrepresentation and thereby artificially boost Trump's net worth so he could dupe investors and get loans for which he was not qualified. So as part of that case, Judge Arthur Engoron ruled that Trump's 2011 valuation of Mar-a-Lago was fraudulent. To build his case, he used a tax appraisal of the property that put its value between $18 million and $27 million. This is part of the case. This Engoron denies that he valued it at $18 million. He goes, no, a tax appraiser did.
It was him.
And so the way that they did it was they said, oh, it's being used as a business venue. We have to look at its revenue, and it only pulls in X amount. It's like $20 million or something a year. So that's what it's worth, instead of looking at the actual property. So part of how they built the case against Trump, saying that he committed fraud against banks, is by inflating the value of Mar-a-Lago from $18 million to what Trump says, which is it's between $350 million to $700 million, and now Trump's just going all out. He's like, it's worth $1 billion.
Yeah.
But all right, so let's play this clip now from CNN. Okay, yeah, just play.
Go ahead, let's see this.
You need at least 30 days to get any of these properties sold. But the property that you alluded to, Mar-a-Lago, potentially that could be something that could be sold quickly. I think the valuation is something in the hundreds of millions, and I think there could be a buyer for something like that.
And that would be literally, if you're talking about doing that between now and Monday, that's picking up the phone, calling someone, and then literally writing a check.
Yeah, I mean, there could be plenty of international people who want to buy that property. I mean, there's properties that are priced at 150 and 200 million that are nearby that. And Palm Beach is like the NVIDIA, of real estate. It's just shot up like a rocket. And people do want to live there. They've moved there. So I think that would be the best case scenario as to property. If he's trying to sell quickly, I would encourage that.
So, all right. Now, that's $240 million estimated. I mean, who knows? You know, he's a desperate seller. In this case, someone picks up the phone and makes that call. That's still half of what it would be.
What the fuck? What the fucking hell?
Going on?
So they ransacked him for everything he was worth, and now they're going to force him to sell it all back to the government for the original fucking price.
For the original price.
What the fucking hell?
It's corrupt. Dude, let me explain something to you. The people involved, like you remember, and I'm being dead serious. Do you remember when, who's the black chick she was like, go in their faces, go in the
Maxine
streets.
Waters.
Maxine Waters. How I mean, I know the firefighters were like booing her, and how the hell as a society are we letting these people get away with this and not going after them? Meaning not violence. I'm talking about protesting,
standing up at all.
going outside, saying, where the hell are all these American libertarians, lovers of the country? You know what they're doing is wrong. You know what they're taking the law, because I hate when people go, well, it's legal. You're a piece of shit if you think that that's cool.
So Monday is Trump's deadline to pay his bond of $450 million.
Yeah.
He is actually planning to let them take Trump Tower because his arms are tied. He's going to appeal it later and try to get it back, but they're going to ransack that place. They're going to completely search through his whole penthouse. They're going to destroy the thing. Like, he's literally at the point where he doesn't even want to countersue or declare bankruptcy because it will cause too many complications for the election. So he's literally at this point just going to let them take it. Monday, that's going to happen.
So Monday they're going to do it, and they're going to put like tape around it. And
that's the sources inside.
Dude, I'm saying, like, and as a New Yorker, I would go there with, bro, a million New Yorkers, I would go in a freaking heartbeat. They should go there and surround that shit and be like, nobody's coming in here. Like, are you freaking kidding me, bro?
The funds are going towards bail.
To pay his own bond.
Bond, yeah.
Which is put in place to make sure that this person doesn't flee the country.
The most famous person in the planet.
The person who wants to run for president of this country is being shaken down to the point so that he won't then flee the same country that he's trying to be elected to. Follow that logic and make that make sense.
I mean, as Vinny said, if they can do this to Trump, who has all that resources and all that money, you are fucked. Like, you have nothing against. Like, you have no way to stand up against them. I mean,
like, in any sense, in any sense, and I'm talking about if anything with child service. I heard some father that lost his kid. Like, anything that they can get you with, if they don't like you, you're screwed. Well, this is the next president.
Well, yeah, but it's also crazy how it just goes to show they will do anything they can for him not to be in office.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is like
do
just
you think they actually care about his assets?
No.
Like, I saw Tim Dillon being like, this all started by saying that he's like a Russian agent, and it has now devolved into being like, he lied about his assets.
Yeah,
like,
it's
his
insane.
bathroom isn't worth that much money. Like, it's like so transparent that it's not about anything that has to do with his real estate. I mean, it's hard that I have to even say that.
Yeah.
No, I know. And then last time he comes out with a pair of sneakers and then just like makes up.
But they're amazing. But if this doesn't prove to you guys, to the American people, because I know, like, we have the majority of our viewers are probably conservative, but those, there's lefties in here, and I know where you are. If this, you can't see this for what it is and understand that the reason they're doing this and they despise him is because they're the they that Biden always talks about when he goes, hey, they won't let me. Trump came in and never once said they, or I got to leave because of they. This is the swamp. This is the deep state that you guys are seeing happening right now. And the left, nobody's saying shit. Where are you guys at? I'm curious. So where are you at? You're cool with this because you just hate him. Mm-hmm. This is a personal vendetta that you were taught to hate him. By the way, all this Trump derangement syndrome, it's not, I feel bad for your little brains. It's not their fault. They were bombarded to be like, this guy is Hitler. Yeah. This guy is, and everything that they said was a lie. From Russia to World War III to everything that they talked about this guy, you guys were duped. You guys were all duped, and you're still hanging on to that shit because you don't want to admit that you were duped. Mm-hmm. Just say it.
But they've made policy after policy against the best interests of the citizens of the United States, just as an effort against him. Like, not policy, comments maybe is the better word. Remember when he wanted, during COVID, at the height of COVID, when it was worldwide, but it was starting in the United States, he wanted to ban international flights from China. You know what it was called? Racist. Racist. No, we need to let those people with a deadly airport disease that we don't know the effects of. We need to let those people into this country. If you don't, you hate Asians. And racist.
And the Chinese New Year parades, he said, don't go to them. And then Schumer and Pelosi were like, we're here and we're not racist.
Pelosi went there. Pelosi said, don't listen to him. Come here. Guys, it's us against them. And I'm telling you, the New York thing, Humberto, and I want to hear what you have to say. If I was in New York, I would start a freaking thing and be like, hey, guys, surround
we
Trump.
should put migrants in Trump Tower so they can't take it. Or squatters.
Trump
should Tower.
In his own
Trump
town.
should squat.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow, Trump should squat. Should we message him?
Yeah. We should.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Guys, we're going to, all right, listen to me.
Pajama party
We're going to
Mar-a-Lago.
set something up. By the way, so Sunday, because if they're going to do it, Sunday we're all going to fly. Are you down?
Yeah,
We're going to
I'll
fly
be there.
there and freaking squat. Oh my God. We're going to
can't
squat
wait.
Trump Tower. Go ahead, Humberto, what were you going to say?
Before I say something, I'm gonna lock my brain with Vault.
Go ahead, have a vault. Get your brain in there. Unlock it.
Anyhow,
Get unlocked.
he said it. Like, they're after him because they're after us.
Yep.
And it's we the people
Yep.
against them demons.
Yep, they are.
Them, because it's them here, them there. We don't even know.
I mean, it's so obviously demonic because okay, you don't believe in religion, whatever. Think of that as just saying it's selfish and not having any accountability for yourself. Not because you put a higher law over yourself so that you can be accounted to that law, to be consistent, to be honest, to tell the truth, whatever. When you go after someone specifically because of other things, knowing that you're going after him for other things, for political disagreements, lie about his original property, then when you get him fined for $400 million, you then go back on your word and say it's actually worth this much to rip that money away from him and just completely make him impoverished. That is demonic. Like that, you are a liar and a hypocrite on the highest scale. Like no matter who you're talking about, if the government was doing this to a regular person, everyone would be like, what the hell is going on? Like if they were doing this to like Kevin O'Leary, it would be literally insane. It'd be China. Like China does this to their billionaires when they speak out against the party.
Yeah.
So it's simply because Trump is Trump. Like Connor and I were talking yesterday, and we were like, if Trump was 5% less himself, everyone would be freaking out. But because he's Trump, it's like people are just like, oh, whatever, like he's up to some shenanigans again. But it's like, it's really just insane. If you really just look at the principles of it and the actual
But is that
law
5% less Trump, or is it 5% less the media spins
Well,
Trump?
exactly.
Because listen, I was not a fan of Trump in the beginning because I grew up in Atlantic City. I saw he was a businessman. He pulled out of Atlantic City. I saw a lot of people suffer, but at the time I didn't realize in the business aspect. I looked at it the personal aspect. I was like, oh, my friend's parents lost their jobs because Trump closed down these casinos.
Yeah.
He was a businessman.
Yeah.
It's a business.
Yeah.
And it
Making
really
deals.
took like you have to understand, I was a bleeding heart liberal. I was. For my entire life, I went to a liberal arts school. I went into liberal communications. I voted for Obama.
He still
twice.
skateboards.
My mom hated me for it. I voted for Biden. I hate myself for that
Son
one.
of a bitch.
However, that's how obvious it is to the regular person who was against this guy. I had Trump derangement syndrome. I should open a camp where I take people who have Trump derangement syndrome and put them through we can't put people in camps.
No camp.
Like a training course.
Yeah.
But like I was deranged, and I looked at this and I went, man, it's actually not him. It's the way the media covers it. It's the way they bombard you with it. It's actually, maybe he has, some shady activities in his past.
Who gives a shit? He's not perfect.
Nobody is.
No.
None of us are Jesus Christ. We're all imperfect. For me to be able, as a liberal for 20 years of my life, to go, man, this guy is fucking getting the shaft. That should open up the eyes to any normal person to go, how are we allowing this as a civilization, as a democratic society? How are we allowing these people that we've elected, that we pay, to act this way?
Yeah, I feel like do we need to do something? Like again, talk is cheap. We need to. I'm dead serious, bro. We're gonna have a talk with Pat because I would. Here's my question: Would the police let us go in there? Or it's going to be so guarded.
You would probably know more about squatters' rights. We'd have to look.
Yeah,
at the
we got to
squatters'
look into it, and also there might be something where it's like, oh, it's actually going to be like a week from Monday that they go into.
Yeah.
We got to figure that out.
We'll
But
definitely do
when we
research.
do-
They have this tendency to always move the dates.
Yeah.
Because whenever people like you or this guy wants to stand in front of them,
I would go
so
in
they
the
see them, They move it. They'll do it on Tuesday. They do it at 5 a.m. You know,
guys, I'm being dead serious because talking is cheap. I'm gonna go there.
I don't even think that Trump is the only solution. Like, even if we have an idiot in power, at least it's an elected idiot that is on his own will.
Yeah,
like, that's all I want. I want anyone that is an elected and is doing his own agenda.
But do you guys? Because we have to move on. We're gonna go to Umberto with this story. But guys, I thought about this today. I was laughing to myself. God, and somebody was like, Adam was like, you think God picked Donald Trump? God picks everybody. God picked Donald Trump, you're fired apprentice, to go in there and ruin the whole system, from fake news to the deep state to the swamp. This guy, and he's losing everything, sacrifice everything to show us what the hell we're really up to. Because, by the way, I always knew. I'm not stupid. I wasn't blind. I mean, Rob, I can't speak for you. You voted for Obama and Biden. But I always felt, I was in the military. I was always like, oh my God, they're really evil. They're really all doing this shit. I didn't buy the whole Obama change. You didn't change shit. It got worse. You made us more divided with your loving Nobel Peace Prize freaking drone strikes killing thousands of people. But I think it's just crazy that they picked this guy. God chose this guy, and he stepped the hell up. And he's suffering for it for us. So that's why when people are like, why do you love Trump so much? Mind you nailed it. He's not Jesus Christ. He's messed up. He said stupid shit all the time. I think COVID, when people are like, well, you're anti-vaccine. He put the vaccine. I go, what other choice did he have? No vaccine and hear all the bullshit? Damned if you do, damned if you don't. That being said, we're going to go to the next story.
By the way, real quick on the vaccine thing, and we will move on. He's not the one that instituted that if you don't take the vaccine, you lose your job. That was Biden.
Yeah, that was Biden.
It came out under Biden.
Operation Warp Speed came in under Trump, but the vaccine didn't come out until after Biden took office, and that's when the mandate started. So for people to be like, well, I was forced to take the vaccine or lose my job because of Trump. No, he didn't make that rule.
Also,
the Biden administration.
Do you think Trump was in the lab making the mRNA
vaccine?
And knows anything
that's
about
what he
that?
does in his spare time.
That's what he does.
Golfs and makes
With
vaccines.
Barron and his text.
Nobody wears a white coat like I do.
Nobody wears guys, I'm so good. I'm so good. I love that. Okay. All right, guys. Next story. Umberto, Cashless Society. Talk to us. What's happening? I don't want it.
I want to ask a question.
Kelly with the graphic. Look at that.
I know.
My baby.
This seems like it is very serious. So I want to ask you first, what is the most sus purchase you made all week? Or maybe the whole month?
My most suspicious sus purchase I've made all week. Oh my God!
I bought something from Delhi. I can't talk about it.
I guess so did I.
Suspect. Wait, like, what do you mean? Like a weird purchase?
Something you would be ashamed to have in your bill.
So okay, I bought a blow up doll on Amazon because I want to shoot a sketch. I want to shoot a sketch.
I subscribe to an OnlyFans account, but it was only because I support local business.
Yeah, he's
nice.
All right,
she's here.
Come on, hit it.
Oh God, I don't know.
Come on,
Alecia, just come clean. We know something's going on.
Guys, I don't know.
Okay, guys.
Nothing sus.
No.
Nothing.
No.
Whatever. You're a wholesome Christian girl.
Yes, exactly.
So just lattes for you. That's
lattes and
lattes and Casamigos.
And by the way, I want to make one point because people were asking me during the live. They're like, Vinny's not texting. By the way, guys, I don't like getting caught, but I do message in the chat during the live. But go ahead. I want you to.
Yeah. I'm gonna
go. I know.
Anyhow,
but I'm being very secretive.
Shane, come on. You have anything?
Well, according to the FBI, I guess it would have to have been a Bible. No, I actually did because I was buying books and I was like, I want that one because it has a good translation. But I don't know, probably like going to the local store and like buying something that comes up as like the company, you know, like according to someone looking at the receipts, it would be like, who the hell is that? Like some guy named like Baba Ganoush or whatever.
Yeah.
But that was right. I mean, I buy food and clothes. It's basically all I buy.
So we all agree that we'll have sus.
Well, what did you buy?
I didn't want to get into it.
You can't do that.
That's not fair.
Good that you
can't do that.
Because like when I buy like sus things, I use my card. When I buy things that are more sus, I take cash out, so there's no paper trail.
Okay. So what'd you buy?
You don't want to know about it. Like we talked about survival and prepping here. And thanks to the Supreme Court, now I can have a gun.
Okay.
Anyhow, I don't have a gun yet, just in case the feds are watching. I need to look into it. I'm going to talk to my lawyer.
I bought WD-40, and you can do anything with that. So.
You can. I love WD-40.
So, okay, that's my answer, yeah.
So we're going to go to this video right here.
What's this video, Cal?
This is Australia right now.
This is Australia?
Australia right
now. And what are we watching?
We're watching this guy that is trying to take money out of the bank.
Okay.
And now by law, they need to ask him why he's taking the money out.
Okay, let me see this. I'm already mad.
It's really funny, by the way.
Can I just take out my money?
No, we won't be able to do the money out today.
You need to buy her what, sorry?
I need to buy my girlfriend a new set of tits. She's thinking D's or E's. I said C's are fine. What do you reckon, C's are fine?
I don't know.
I'm just leaving my wife.
Oh.
We're getting a divorce. It's a bit messy. I don't want her to have any of my assets. She's not getting any of my cash. It's for penis enlargement surgery. So it's a pretty serious procedure. I'm not really confident in my package. I'm sure you'd know. So I just need to
I got a sick gambling addiction.
So that's why you want to block the money?
Yeah. The money's probably going to go straight in the machines.
I want to donate it to Ukraine. Yeah. So you're actually costing those people money if I don't get the cash.
Yes.
Oh, wow. It's a law that you have to tell them what you're spending the money?
And he found out that and just made the most uncomfortable claims of why he's taking
Oh, my God.
Money's control, and I'm doing this story actually because I think we're heading there. In Australia, they're planning to have a cashless society by 2025. That's right around the corner. That all transactions are gonna be digitally traced. No cash. You did the story on how buying in certain places would put you in certain lists. Mm-hmm. Cash is still
Connor did actually.
Cash is still our only saver. The other day, I took out $1,000 for totally unrelated.
But guess what? You know what he was buying with that.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Go ahead.
I took out $1,000 from the cash machine.
Yep. Singles.
And yeah. Well, that's where I'm heading. The spoiler alert.
We know.
And I took out $1,000 and they blocked my card. Mm-hmm. Because it was suspicious activity. I thought this is Miami. Everyone is taking 1,000 out in singles. No shit. And this is the conspiracy. This is really hurting people.
You think it's hurting people?
It is hurting people.
Why?
Immediately. Homeless and strippers.
Wow, they're screwed.
I wish someone did a study of how much less money homeless people are getting because nobody's carrying cash.
What do you mean? Oh, no, it has to be in decline.
I've seen them because they're all over, and they are all over the exits of the freeways in South Florida.
Yeah.
Like, especially, I live up by Mar-a-Lago, and it's crazy that a mile this way is Mar-a-Lago, and it's only worth $18 million, but it's a beautiful estate. And then literally right there, a mile to the west of that is homeless people in camps by the freeway who now have the card readers. They have cell phones with the card reader in it. They come up and because
I've seen them.
Because I have a Jeep and I don't ride with the doors on, right? I don't ride with the doors on or the top on, and I usually go surfing right at Mar-a-Lago. So I'll come up to turn, and there was a guy that came up and he asked, he goes, "Do you have any cash?" And I said, "Nah, sorry, man. I only have cards." And then he whipped out his phone and had the card reader and said, "I take card too."
That's insane.
And I went, "How are you homeless?"
That's
I'm
insane.
taking card too.
Start a business, you asshole.
Well, but these guys are being very serious about it. The Commonwealth Bank, or CBA, Communist Bank of Australia, has closed 354 branches and more than 2,000 ATMs closed.
Closed.
Wait, why are they closing them?
Good, because they want to go cashless by 2025.
Oh,
okay.
So they're closing down branches.
That's complete control.
People have to drive hundreds of miles.
Bro, I feel so
and
bad.
Australia is a pretty big country.
Australia's screwed. You know why? They don't have they don't have guns. They can't fight back because they're F, bro. Look at the COVID. Cops were coming to their houses, making sure that they were staying inside. Now they're going to make them cash. Yeah, exactly. They're going to make them cashless. Bro, you don't F with Americans because we are armed to the teeth. We're not playing that shit.
Like, people talk about Canada. They talk about Australia because the racial makeup is very similar. The culture is very similar and whatever. But the difference is that Australians and Canadians, they didn't tell the English to kick rocks, And I don't know what happened to us. You were talking about going there and squatting on Trump's, whatever. We started the revolution because of a tax.
Yes.
So much smaller. Our forefathers would have started 10 revolutions the last month.
Yep.
Out of all the things that are going out of.
Forget it.
We don't
and then Kelly, shout out to Kelly for the research behind this video. But Pat did a Wednesday video on China's social credit score a few weeks ago. I think maybe last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the amount of stuff that China tracks is insane. So they if you hang out with the wrong person, they deduct stuff from your score.
Dude,
if you buy too much alcohol, they deduct your score. If you spend too much time playing video games or watching porn, they deduct your score.
Oh, you're
Rob,
zero.
after you, Rob.
Bro, they're gonna put you in the gulag, bro.
But like that kind
Straight
of
to jail.
that funny stuff is just the beginning, though, because like they don't ultimately give a shit what you do. That I feel like that's China being like, look, we're making people more virtuous or something. They're signaling to like the middle-aged people or something to justify it. What they're ultimately going to do is you can associate with people of those political beliefs. You can associate with those people who are radical. You can't buy weapons, ammo. You can't buy food you can't buy meat. You can't buy grade A meat. You have to buy our slop.
It's coming here. I mean, it's definitely coming here, bro. They would in a heart, bro. I'm telling you right now, if we didn't have the Second Amendment, every single thing that China does, every single thing that Australia does, all the Russia, you name it, it would be here. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
If we weren't armed civilians.
Do you blame people for allowing this?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
we trade ease.
But they can't fight.
We tried privacy for ease of convenience.
100%.
Right? Like I do a lot of stand up. You know how I pay all my comedians? Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. It's never cash. When I go out and do stand up gigs, how do I get paid? From clubs, it's checks. From independent shows, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. I'm part of that problem. I traded that. Hey, I want to have this money and not let the government know about it. For you could just send it to my phone directly. I'm one of those dummies. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, scan me.
Omerto pays strippers in Bitcoin. Did you know that?
That's a lot.
He's a
100%.
Bitcoin throwing what?
But I'm gonna have to stop doing it because like fiat currency, it's going to dump.
Stupid.
Diamond hands, boys. Anyhow, sorry, I had to plug that in.
Go ahead.
But what he's saying, especially like in China, the only way to destroy the Chinese government, and they tried it. There was a group of young people that were doing this thing called Tang Peng, or like laying down. It was the laying down revolution. Have you heard about this?
Laying down? I thought it was
Laying
Chinese,
down.
I thought you said it with a Chinese accent. Like,
Tang Peng.
Laying down? Laying down?
Have you heard about
I
this?
think she works in sales, laying down.
That's lame.
No.
Sorry.
The Tang Peng, or the laying down revolution. I'm in another list today because I'm talking about the Chinese. Younger males that knew that no matter how hard they work, because it's a communist country, they will get the same thing. And if they didn't do anything, they would get the same thing. They would just lay down. And if enough young men and young women lay down and stop doing things, that's why it doesn't surprise me that they will punish them for watching too much porn. You do it real quick, 1 minute, in and out. Or playing video games.
I can work with that.
You can work with that.
Hey, 1 minute, that's all you get?
Yeah.
1 minute in heaven is better than 5.
Yeah.
But anyhow, like if enough people like fall into whatever the West is doing, that is like hours of games, hours of porn, hours of watching streamers, that system doesn't work because that system is a volume system. You need a bunch of like mind dead people just moving and
Watching
pushing.
people sleeping in their room.
Yeah,
Live
watching,
stream.
But anyhow, to close this a little bit, my favorite minion, Amy, she is putting out what?
Jesus.
She's putting out.
How many minions do you have?
I'm gonna have a new one on Monday.
Oh my!
She's gonna put out a video on this whole cashless Australia situation on Monday, and
HR violation.
HR violation. I saw it myself. It's fire.
wait.
She's a genius for doing it. So So if you want to learn more about cashless society, you can.
Don't let it happen. And by the way, Trump is anti-cashless society. He's not for it at all because he knows
We should all be against it.
I am.
And we need to go further because like cash, if they keep on printing it, it's not going to be worth anything at all.
All right. Umberto, I love you. Thank you. I'm going to actually try to take out $1,000 today, too, just to see if they freaking try to stop me.
Take it out in one.
I'll give you. Yeah. All right, Alecia, Megan Fox and what's her relationship with blood? What the hell?
Well, no, it's Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly and their relationship together.
Okay.
So I have a question for you guys now.
Wow, before we even get into
it's
it.
my turn.
Okay.
Oh,
it's her turn.
So if you guys were in love with
I would.
Yes.
Sorry. No.
Yes, I'm drinking it. I'm drinking it.
Okay, that's the question.
Oh my God, let her ask.
The question, that's the question,
Go.
is if you would drink your spouse's blood.
No.
No.
Yes, I would.
Really?
Shane, you disgusting
I'm sorry,
son
but it's
of-
not for
like,
Satan.
like for like to feel close,
not for Satan.
and to feel bond.
I mean, why would you though? Like, what is her reasoning for doing it?
Okay, a yes or no.
Like if she was stung by
My answer is yes, but
like,
Okay, all right, I'll let you explain.
if she was bitten by a snake and I had to save her life
and suck the venom on
No,
spitting
no, no.
it?
I'm talking about like you guys like
Just for
cutting
funsies?
each other.
No,
Yeah.
that's too much. If it was like putting like in a Bloody Mary and a drink and
So
we're being weird.
her and Machine Gun Kelly, after he proposed, they literally sucked on each other's blood.
No, that's disgusting. No, that's
okay.
stupid.
So there's a video here coming up. If Kelly can pull.
Wait. So you said they got married and what? It was like
he
I
proposed.
do, blood in your face.
No, like they like. I don't know how they drink it. They just take a few drops.
Because by like drinking it, like putting it on your tongue and swallowing it.
I thought they got divorced or they were separated. Why do I even know either of this?
They're,
okay.
they're back together.
Megan Fox is
so
talking.
This is an interview that she did a year ago, and she just recently was on Call Her Daddy. So I'll get to that in a second.
All right.
This one is about the blood.
Mislead people, or like people are imagining us with like goblets and we're like Game of Thrones drinking each other's blood. It's just a few drops, but yes, we do consume each other's blood on occasion for ritual purposes.
Ritual.
Only.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
do you
is
understand
used
that? That's
for
demonic.
a reason, and it is controlled where it's like, let's shed a few drops of blood and each drink it. He's much more haphazard and hectic and chaotic, where he's willing to just like cut his chest open with broken glass and be like, take my soul.
What the?
Let me bleed on you.
What
It doesn't not happen.
Is this
Let me
real?
tell you.
Yeah,
Maybe not
this is
exactly
real.
like that, but a version of that has happened many times. The most romantic thing he's ever done
like a
for me.
known
That's hard to
thing, like with her and his relationship. And then she went on Call Her Daddy, and Alex Cooper asked her the same question, and she altered it a little bit, her response, because people were like, you literally are part of the Illuminati. Like, that is not normal to be drinking one another's blood. And then this was a clip on Call Her Daddy.
It's just like that one time that I said I drink blood ritualistically. And then everybody was like, wow, she's into satanic rituals.
Classic.
But
you're wearing
that
red,
was
bitch.
very
You're the devil.
misunderstood.
We misunderstood.
Thing. Let me try to explain it.
Yeah, give us like some context.
Everything is a matter of like what you're accustomed to or what is currently like socially acceptable or normal. Back in like the 50s even. How many times did you see like little boys would go out with like their little pop guns and they would cut their fingers and like be blood brothers, right? And they're like, we're best friends forever now. And they would like smush the blood together on their fingers. That's not satanic, right? That's normal and that's cute. That's sweet. That's like an innocent, like
little bond.
Yeah, it's a little bond between kids who love each other. They have a pure friendship. It's like that, except instead of rubbing your fingers together, the drop of blood goes in your mouth. And I don't know why that becomes satanic. I understand people are like,
Dude,
hey,
she's
that's
a
weird.
demon.
But guess what I think is weird? I think it's weird that girls are out here letting guys come in their mouth and they don't know these guys. You're letting somebody put their sperm in your mouth and you don't know what he does. He doesn't even have a job. You met him on fucking Tinder. He's an entrepreneur or whatever.
Yeah.
Are they talking about Adam? Are they talking about Adam Sosnick?
Sperm in your mouth.
She had
That's
sex with
disgusting.
Adam.
That makes my back hurt. That makes me sweaty. So fuck you. You're so
that's the title
offended
we need.
that I got a drop of Machine Gun Kelly's blood in my mouth. You have Brandon from Silicon Valley's sperm in your mouth.
said
And he
Adam
will buy you a
Adam.
nice
Yeah.
drink.
I'm crying.
What is so gross about what I did with my soulmate? You guys are out here
so
letting
she
strangers.
claims-
All right, Kelly, we can
Yeah.
stop it.
I want to hit my face in a shovel.
Oh my
Like
god,
that is the most popular female hosted podcast in the world.
Yeah.
Yep.
Call
that
Her
is
Daddy.
crazy.
Normal
Yeah.
women listen to that.
By the way, that's
Yeah.
because you asked a regardless of how attractive and sexy Megan Fox is, that is the most disgusting, demonic. He cuts himself open and goes, "Take my soul."
Broken glass.
So, guys, and by the way, there's no more of this. Vinny, you're crazy conspiracy. This is in your face. We're drinking your blood. Go ahead, Alecia.
No, it's literally just in your. Like, they're not hiding it. Like, they're telling you.
This makes me so mad. It's like a religious level. Like, I remember Roll 2008, 2009. I had a poster of her in my room. Her, Jessica Alba, super hot, And this guy, Machine Gun Kelly, who is he? Like,
he's wearing dresses.
Defiling the temple of this beautiful woman and make her drink blood.
She looks like she's in charge, though. I think she's in charge.
Yeah, no, I think she's
the
in
temptress.
charge.
I think she's the evil one. I think she's the one that's like, let's drink it. But
I agree.
She's hot enough. She's hot enough for somebody to be like, yeah, I'll
switch teams,
bro. By the way, she's not only on some witch drinking blood, Alecia. And I'm sorry because I want to go to you. She makes her kid transgender, like the kid's young and dresses as a girl. She is the whole kit and caboodle of just demonic shit.
Have you seen that picture of like all the actresses and how they all have trans kids?
Yes.
All 6 of them.
It's
six
crazy.
of them.
Like how could it be that? Oh, it's just coincidence.
No, they adopt them. They adopt them and put dresses.
It's a status symbol now.
Yeah.
This is what, and I hate to be that guy. This is what Hollywood does to people. And I know we'll get to that with Dan Snyder in a minute. But look,
casual.
I worked in Cleveland, which was Machine Gun Kelly's hometown. I worked in Cleveland for 5 years on the radio. Machine Gun Kelly was a friend of the show. And this is right after he dropped mixtapes, but not before, like right before he signed with whatever record label he blew up on. He was a normal dude.
Yeah.
Like, he would come into the radio studio with his team. They were all nice Cleveland people that he had known his entire life. He had a daughter. He'd bring her to the radio studio as well. Like, he was a nice guy that would shake your hand and be cool. And then all of a sudden you see him today and he's tattooed half his body black and he's drinking blood and he's wearing weird piercings and he tucks his penis in and does dances. Like, this is what Hollywood does to people, and it's crazy. Because I know this guy. I knew him for years, and he was normal. And he's not.
Not anymore.
And they're so like drugged, like you
of course,
100%.
She's all like, and he sounds like that too. Like,
yeah, what were you
he
saying?
He literally covered his body black in tattoo ink. Half his body is black.
I saw that. I thought it was a joke.
Face?
Huh?
Is that blackface?
That's
black
body.
face, black chest.
Yeah.
Which I don't see a lot of outrage of black chest.
No, black chest, I think he passes.
He said he did that to cover up like his past demons and experiences.
Really?
But wait, so going into the Illuminati and drinking blood and all these ceremonies. So then she casually on Call Her Daddy says something that is just like talking about the Illuminati, and she's like, "Oh yeah, they didn't extend me an offer." Like,
can we see that? Is this
play
it?
that clip, and I'm like, "You're just saying that so casually, like, what?
How does invited to the Bohemian?
Is this it?
She's like,
is this the clip?
Yeah,
Kelly, yeah.
Have never been a part of a satanic ritual. Don't know any people who have been a part of a satanic ritual. I'm not sure if the Illuminati is real. It probably is. I have not been extended an offer to join. I feel like if it was real, I would have been given an offer to join by now. So yeah, it's just to squash that. Not a Satanist or any kind of like an evil witch, light worker.
What?
I do, rituals, but that's not a negative thing. Anything is a ritual. Doing your skincare routine is a ritual.
Oh yeah,
going to church.
Putting kids' blood.
That word has been demonized for so long.
Yeah,
that it's just been very misunderstood. And also, I think we exacerbated it because Halloween of that year. I dressed up in bondage with a dog collar around my neck, and he dressed up as a priest, and he was feeding me communion on my knees, and we played Marilyn Manson's
the big deal.
Sweet Dreams. We played that. That was
like,
the song to the and
they're
people
not even hiding
felt like that was a confirmation of the satanic rituals.
So you can kind of see like where people may like
I can see where I planted a seed and there grew a tree in its place.
Yeah.
What, dude?
So if there was a secret society of the world's finest and elite, clearly I'd be invited.
Yeah.
But wait, let's because help me out here. I will defend Alex at all costs.
Yeah.
She is awesome. Like the
She
girl that is
is.
doing the interview, call her daddy. She's a great content creator. Like maybe here in the context of the video, it seems that she's into it, but she will get anyone to talk shit, like weird shit, because she seems like she's like, oh yeah, you go queen, whatever, and she will get them talking about
this just goes to prove that I've been saying this forever, that
she got 50 mil for her show.
Oh, that's freaking amazing. But think about this.
Like 60.
I was,
50 mil?
Yeah, I think it was a little
Love
bit
her.
closer to 60. But think about this, and I talk about this all the time. I'm happy she said rituals. I go to church. There's moments where, especially ours, a Syrian church, we stand, we pray, we don't confess, but there's rituals that we do in our Christian faith. For people to be naive to think that that the devil's minions don't have their rituals that they abide by, you guys are delusional.
Yeah.
So I'm tired of people walking around like, no, Vinny, you don't know what you're talking about. It's not just a battle, and they have in the Bible, I don't know if it's Romans or something, about flesh and blood. It's deeper than that. These people are the devil's helpers.
It is so much deeper, and she is just she grew up in Hollywood. Like it leads into like what you're gonna talk about. Like she was in that period of time of being a child actor and going through all those things.
So broken.
Kanye has a song.
Yeah.
Kanye has a song called "LA Monster," and you should look it up and listen to the words. It's really good. It's like. It was never released, and he was going to put it on the album that came out before Jesus is King that never came out.
That album
then he had
was
his Christian conversion, which just kind of subsided now. But that song is crazy because it's basically saying like all these people want to come and become famous, and then they sell their soul and they feed it to the LA monster. And every time I think of LA and Hollywood, I just picture like this like bowl of like
it is
it sucks you in
dark energy. Yeah,
I think the point about rituals that you were bringing up and she brought up is so interesting because we're in a society, man, that pushes for religion. It pushes religion out, and with religion it pushes rituals out. And as humans, and it's been proven, we are intrinsically drawn to rituals. Like we do a bunch of things in a ritual type of way, and having rituals, religious or not religious, it's a really good thing. Like, for example, wake up in the morning being grateful that you're alive and well, going to the shower, crying a little bit, and then, getting on with your day.
That's normal. Me and Rob do that all the time.
But I think rituals are important.
Yeah.
Not the satanic ones, not the drinking blood ones.
Yeah.
But if that's your thing.
But I don't like the people's being so naive and so unbelievable. Like, they're like, what do you mean? They have them too. Like Satanists and devil worshiping. Listen, say what you want. If you're cutting your boyfriend's chest and you're sucking each other's blood,
drinking it,
guess what? You're on that side.
I gotta say though, her defense is probably the best defense you could possibly bring up. Like the whole thing about like the Brandon guy from Silicon Valley, because it's like the average person isn't doing too much better either.
Yeah.
I mean, you may not be
fine.
dressed up in a dog collar, but like
That's why Shane and I want to extend everyone an invitation to the Catholic Church. We have the best rituals. The best rituals we have. We have the best hats.
it's cool. It's as
the
Humberto
business.
said, one of the first times I met him, talking to a guy who was like a non-denominational, he was like, oh, but what about the Catholic Church? Like, though they charge indulgences, and Humberto's like, it's not that complicated, man. It's about the Roman Empire. It's cool. It has cool churches. It's like stones and columns and shit. Yeah,
That was your pitch?
It's cool.
Yeah, dude,
It looks cool.
We made this thing, civilization.
We make pretty things, and everyone else makes ugly.
And guess what? And who cares about the priest and the pedophilia? Which leads me into our last story. And I'm going to be serious. I know
those are Satanists. And
I'm excited for this story.
What happened?
Not that story.
What? But are we going to act as if there's not pedophilia with priests? And
you absolutely can go after that. I mean, I'm not.
Oh,
go off.
Okay,
go off.
All right, so,
Plant
guys,
it in there.
So, Quiet on Set. Did any of you guys see the documentary on Max?
Yes.
On HBO Max? Anybody else except her? You guys haven't seen it.
What?
Okay, guess
haven't
what?
seen it?
So
No, I
it's
have.
called The Dark
You
Side
have
of
to?
Kids.
It's in my pedophilia coom.
Yeah.
Get ready to watch it just a little bit.
So this
Got
this
pen in
show,
there.
Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV, takes a deep dive into the working conditions of both child actors and adult staff of Nickelodeon from the 1990s to the 2000s. So guys, before I start, I'm going to say everything that I'm speaking about, all the videos, all the conversations, these are what everybody in the video, the documentary, stated, okay? They're all, I have opinions, we're going to have opinions, but these are all alleged from the people and the actors. And guys, guess what? It's very moving. It's very disturbing. So I just want to say that off the rip. So that being said, it tracks the producer, the show, Dan Schneider, his rise at Nickelodeon. He's created shows and launching the careers of actors like Amanda Bynes and Drake Bell and Britney Spears' sister. I don't even know her name.
Jamie.
Jamie
Lynn.
Jamie Lynn Spears.
Yeah.
Thank you for correcting me. In the documentary, some of the writers, former child stars, and staffers that worked for Schneider alleged that the atmosphere was toxic as hell. The complaints ranged from work environment being negative to harassment to sexism to even racism. The documentary highlighted the discovery of Amanda Bynes, her close relationship with Dan Schneider, who apparently just every time people saw him on set, he was getting a massage from a female that wasn't a masseuse.
Weird.
He would just, very weird. He actually helped himself get involved in Bynes' failed effort to emancipate herself from her parents. He basically tried to take her away from her parents, long story short. Some of the jokes on Nickelodeon show were inappropriate for children to do adult humor. For example, guys, and before Kelly plays this is young Ariana Grande, and Alecia kind of looks at her. Can we have the camera going, Alecia? All right, young. All right, by the way, she looks like she's 13, 14, maybe 15 max, okay? This guy, Dan Schneider, apparently had a foot fetish, and Shane, you showed it to me. The logo at Nickelodeon. The foot is a foot. It's disgusting.
Child foot fetish.
A child foot fetish. And then in this video, she's trying to juice a potato. She talks about something about being wet in the beginning. It's actually quite disturbing. And then she tries to drink water upside down. Right before we play this, guys, you tell me at home, watching this, and James Schneider tried to stick up for himself, and he said that this was for children to laugh at, and it was strictly for children because that's what kids like and the kids want to laugh. Kelly, play the clip.
Even more wet than even the wettest person in the world. Have you ever tried to get your whole big toe in your mouth? Check this out.
Look. Yeah, watch.
Sometimes I wonder if you can get juice from a potato.
Look.
Is it possible for a teenage girl to drink water upside down?
How is this appropriate?
I'm thirsty.
Watch.
All right.
Dude.
What?
How are you on set?
There's so many videos.
Wait. Oh. Okay, stop
This has been me.
Okay,
in the
guys, and guess what?
video.
That's the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
There's single shots of them getting squirted with shit in their face. There's a pickle boy. It was, guys, it's disgusting looking back, watching this. And it also had an episode on the documentary when Amanda Bynes is in a hot tub with a grown man, Dan Schneider. I don't give a shit that he has clothes on. Kelly, play the clip.
Is the executive producer of the Amanda Show, Dan Schneider.
Hi.
Hey, executive producer of the show.
Yes, I'm the executive producer and the head writer.
You actually wrote the words we're saying to each other right now.
Yeah. Yes, I wrote this whole conversation that we're having right here.
Since you're an executive producer.
Give me that seat.
All right, Kelly. Okay, guys. So now, and I'm going to go kind of rapid fire now. The documentary, Christy Stratton and Jenny Kilgen, two former writers on The Amanda Show, claim that there was an abusive environment in the writer's room. Okay, and by the way, Dan has a video that came out apologizing that if he thought this and he thought that. I'm not buying it. She said working for Dan, this is Stratton, was like being in an abusive relationship. He had fostered this very fun, casual atmosphere, but I felt Dan could be very volatile and could turn at any moment. Now, this is when it gets disgusting and it gets crazy. Two convicted sex offenders were highlighted on the series, were on the set of the Nickelodeon shows. Their names were Jason Michael Handy, a former production assistant, and Brian Peck. I think he was the biggest demon of the two. He was an actor and dialogue coach. Both were convicted while they were working on Nickelodeon sets, okay? Handy, effed up name to be a freaking pedophile, was caught emailing one of the child actresses a photo of himself naked and masturbating. In 2003, law enforcement searched Handy's home and found sexually explicit images of children, over 10,000 images of children, including 1,768 images of young girls in erotic poses. One CD had 7 files of minors engaging in sexual explicit conduct. Handy was sentenced to 6 years in prison in 2004 while pleading no contest with 2 felony counts.
How many years?
6 years. That's it. All right, wait.
No, go.
Yeah. So, and this is the winner of the group. Brian Peck. He starred in every episode of The Pickle Boy, which they had like a glory hole pickle thing. It's freaking, dude, it bothers me.
Yeah.
Kyle Sullivan, one of the child actors, was at a party at Peck's house. Everybody from the crew was there for a barbecue. He discovered Peck had a self-portrait and a signed note to him by serial killer John Wayne Gacy, a personalized note. And for you guys that don't know, John Wayne Gacy is a serial killer and sex offender who raped and tortured and murdered 33 young men and boys that on file. Okay?
Dressed as a clown, did it?
Dressed as a clown. And Sullivan later found out that Peck has been accused of 11 counts of sexually abusing a minor. Now, Drake Bell, which I think episode 3 and 4 really focused on this kid, and I felt he's an adult now, but dude, it was uncomfortable to watch. I cried a couple of times during it because I felt his pain. He was abused by Brian Peck. Police had Brian on tape admitting to not only raping him and molesting him, to shoving inanimate objects inside of Bell, causing bodily harm. And so guess what happens when all this becomes public? You guys want to take a wild guess? You would think Hollywood would come out and be like, dude, what the hell's going on? We got to support this kid that was basically sodomized in this and raped in this pedophile ring. Guess what? Wrong. When they went to court, the entire side of Peck's side was filled with Hollywood. On Drake Bell's side, it was him, his mother, and his brother. That's it. Think about this. Hollywood came out to support this piece of shit. Do you know how evil and soulless you have to be as a Hollywood person to come and kind of go there to kind of intimidate and stick up for him? So everyone knew what happened, okay, and yet they're still comfortable with ganging up on a child. Guys, a child for daring to come forward. And here's a list. I made a list of some of the Hollywood demons who wrote character letters in support of Brian Peck, a self-confessed pedophile. James Martin from X-Men and The Notebook. He wrote a letter.
Yeah.
Wrote a letter
I'm
saying,
going to remind that to my wife every time she
he's
watches
a
Notebook.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Joanna Kearns, Growing Pains. Alan Thicke wrote a letter. Rich and Beth Cohen from Sweet Life, the director's role. Ryder Strong from Boy Meets World. Willie Friedle, co-star Boy Meets World. Taryn Killam, comedian, actor. They all wrote. And this is the wild part, guys. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for Hollywood when I talk about demons? Peck gets out of jail, registers as a sex offender. Guess what happens? Gets hired on a Disney show, The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. 2 of the boys that were on there, they're young boys. You're a pedophile.
Yeah, also, he later, after getting arrested, going to jail, getting out, he was cast in a sex ed teacher role in a movie about a high school. Are you how can you possibly?
And he's not in jail. Well, by the way, guys, let me explain.
It's like they're playing a joke on the audience.
I think it's a joke. Yeah,
they're all in on it.
Well, they are. So they're all complicit. When it comes to that, they're all complicit, and they kept working for these people even after. So, dude, Hollywood is the biggest pedophile club in the world. How many times do we have to keep hearing these stories? And
well, outside of the Catholic Church, and you can't argue that one.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, in all fairness, I mean, the priests that were guilty of all this did the same thing. They covered each other up. They stood for each other. They defended each other. I mean, it is true.
I don't think that's a fair comment. We can do a whole episode of how they implanted people to do those.
That's also true.
You know, like.
But I'm just saying they operate in the same way.
Yeah,
they did exactly like the Catholic Church didn't move priests from city to city.
Well, yeah, I saw that movie. Spotlight. The movie Spotlight.
But the guys that tried to do something about it, they will eat it. All of them.
Yeah. But let's. Okay, I know, and I get it. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yes.
But guess what? There's a lot of non-innocence, even though some people were planted. I have heard that.
I'm gonna go in hard on that.
Yeah, no, for sure. But no, and ready for this? So, by the way, boiled my blood. The fact that this guy's apologizing, I think something needs to happen with all the people involved. Were you going to say something?
I have a lot of things to say.
Okay, good. Well, because I want to say this. Connor, I was talking about this yesterday. I think you were here. We need to come up with something to stop these freaking pedophiles. And Connor said something that he heard that also can help the border crisis. I don't know what you guys think. We create a TV show because people love TV shows. Nobody's going to watch or nobody's going to get invested unless there's a show. So we create a show where illegal immigrants that want citizenship coming into the country, they have to go and hunt down sexual predators and pedophiles in the country. Check this out. They get a 30-day temporary work visa. If they capture or kill, which I'm totally fine with, because these people are, and you can't rehabilitate them. If you kill 30 pedophiles, you get a green card. And guess what we call the show? Aliens versus Predators. I mean, Connor, shout out to Connor. And then I want to go around before we wrap up. In the Bible, and this I'm going biblical since we're going there. This is what it says about children. Matthew chapter Chapter 18, verse 6. This is in the Bible, a word from God. Whoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to sin, it would be better for him if a millstone were hung around his neck and to be drowned in the depths of the sea. This is God's word. Even in prison, which is filled with murderers and rapists and drug dealers and killers, when a pedophile comes in, guess what? They all collectively know that person has to go. Think about that, because you're messing with children. And we're almost done because I want to go, and then we'll come back to this. It doesn't stop there. Did you guys see what the tweet about the senior NBC producer?
Oh, yeah, that was
who left?
so
there's an NBC producer. He used to work for NBC. His name is Mike Singleton. He posted, because by the way, guys, it's all out in your face. He posted this about Barron Trump the other day. He said, Barron Trump turns 18 today. He's fair game now. Mind you, this is a former senior executive at NBC. He tweeted it, then deleted it. And he tried to claim, like, oh, he's an adult now. I mean, we can go after Barron now because he's fair game. But look at his old tweets. This is Mike Singleton. First son, Barron Trump, celebrates his 12th birthday. Let's take a look back. What are you posting shit like that?
Oh, and look, location, Los Angeles.
Yeah, keep going, Cal. Look at this.
With the lollipop.
Look at this, bro. What are you shooting his hands and his crotch?
Barron Trump is cool.
Yeah, keep going, Kelly. Look at, dude, this guy's obsessed with this underage kid. What the hell is going on? So I wanted to ask you guys, you see something like this, you know what's happening. It's not stopping. They're protecting and writing letters for the guy. He's still on the streets. And I don't know if you guys know this or not. It's not like I used to drink. I don't drink anymore. I'm never going back.
Me neither, Vinny.
Thank you. I love you. How long
12
are you?
days.
12 days. I want to congratulate you.
I'm fat.
When it comes to a pedophile, that sickness, that disease, you're not getting that out of you.
Yeah.
There's no AA recovery for pedophilia. And I think there needs to be something done.
They need to chop
their crotches off.
Yeah.
Listen. If you get convicted of pedophilia, I think 100% it's a mandatory gender go.
Not even. I mean, I work production most of my adult life. We're sitting here. You see these microphones. You see the light on top of it. We handle a lot of heavy equipment that you can swing around.
Yeah.
I hear about one of these guys.
Yeah.
Something will drop in their freaking head.
Yeah.
And this is freaking unions.
Yes.
Okay? All these guys are in production teams. They're in unions. Well, first of all, since I moved here, I not our guys, but I noticed other teams of productions. My production guys that I used to handle, they were like a biker gang. They were tough guys.
Of course.
If this thing happened in South America, that guy wouldn't make it out of the production set. I will literally pour some water on the floor and then drop a light on that guy.
Uh-huh.
I think it's in all of us, all males, because we need to start leading again. If you hear something or you see something and you have proof, you grab that guy.
Oh, yeah.
You grab the guy. I can't believe in a set there's at least 60 to 100 people. Everyone knows about this. And this guy's still walking around. What's going on?
There's more to this whole Dan story that it's really messed up because one, he was married during that entire period. He's still married to that same woman.
Dan Schneider.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's married and was. The whole Amanda Bynes situation is so sad because the only reason Dan was able to do that interview, his apology interview about everything, is because she is so mentally unstable from what happened.
Yeah.
The whole rumor and everything, behind Amanda Bynes is that he was the one who got her pregnant. She had an abortion.
That was the allegedly story.
She tweeted it out from an anonymous account.
Yeah.
And he said, imagine being 13 and your boss impregnating you and you need to get an abortion. Wouldn't that suck? Huh?
Oh my God.
And then she's not the only girl that those rumors are about. Jamie Lynn Spears.
They're saying that she was pregnant.
She was pregnant because she got pregnant. She left Zoe 101 because she was pregnant at the end of the season. The producer was Dan. It was this huge, quiet, secret thing, whatever. But Amanda, have you guys seen what Amanda Bynes looks like?
Yeah,
she lost her mind.
She goes onto Twitter and TikTok, and she literally makes these videos. She has a tattoo on her. You can see she is so
Gone. Yeah.
And it's broken and you can't stand up for herself. Can't say it's so sad.
It's all of them. God, no, Rob, go please.
Well, imagine being the victims like Amanda Bynes.
Yeah.
And this horrific thing happens to you, and then you speak out, and not only does the world not believe you, but then there are people that you know that you have relationships with that go above and beyond to protect the person who committed those crimes against you. And if you look at child actors in Hollywood, I think you have to make it, there's got to be, you can't demonize an entire industry, just like you cannot demonize the entire Catholic Church because there were bad priests. I don't think you can demonize all of Hollywood, the entertainment industry, as being this pedophilia ring. I think there are people, these people that act in these manners, they're cancers. And what do cancers do? They spread. And if you don't cut that cancer out, it's going to spread throughout the industry. I hate to demonize the entire industry because then it means there's no hope for the industry. But you look at the stories of Todd Bridges, who was addicted to crack cocaine, was a child star. Name me a child star that came out of Hollywood that is still functioning and relevant today. Jason Bateman and Drew Barrymore. Those are the only two I can think. But look at the train wrecks. Amanda Bynes, Dana Plato, Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan.
All of them.
All of these people that grew up and worked in Hollywood. Corey Feldman has said that he was the victim of sexual assault by prominent men in Hollywood.
And won't say, and what pisses me off about him, I know he's scared for his life, but who gives a shit? You have to call them out. Who are you protecting? Because Corey Haim was in there, and if you guys could look at it, did I send it to you? There's a YouTube. Don't look at it right now, Kill. Let them see it. Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, fighting at a restaurant, and Corey Haim is you knew I was getting raped, you knew I was getting molested, and guess what you did? He goes, what? He goes, you said do more cocaine, live with it. And he goes, well, I was raped and molested by the same guy, and he won't. You're still living, and you're not saying it. I hope one day if this clip gets to him, Corey, what do you have? Who are you protecting or who are you scared of? If it's somebody big and you're not saying shit, he's probably molesting and doing some shit to some young boy right now.
And that's the only way that you can cut these cancers out is by identifying them. So you got to be careful when you demonize an entire industry, an entire church, because no, there are bad actors. There's probably somebody in this company that I'm not saying does that kind of stuff, but probably does things that might not align with the company's values. Doesn't mean the entire company is bad. It means that person's bad, but you have to remove those cancers, and the only way that you can remove that cancer is by identifying them publicly so other people know that dude's a bad dude, stay away from, not covering it up.
But the thing is, it starts building up because, like, if we found that one of the guys here, he doesn't make it home.
No, he's gonna. I'm going to jail.
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest.
I'm going to jail.
If I find out somebody, listen, because I'm telling you right now, and I'll say this out loud. If I find out somebody's on some pedophile shit, I'm dealing with them before the cops come, and I'm happy to do it. Because guess what? They're going to get it regardless. Wherever the hell they go, prison, they're going to be protected by my tax dollar for the rest of his life. The fact that Brian Peck is still walking around with those same thoughts drives me freaking bananas. I got it, guys. I got to wrap up. Kelly, did you Slack me the thing, my love, or was it a text? Okay, guys, amazing show. Thank you, guys. We got into it. It got a little heated. I love the passion. To Candace Owens, we love her to death. I wish her the best. God bless her. And we wish the best for Daily Wire as well. Umberto, I love you. Alecia, thank you. Rob, Shane, and guys, in case you missed it, Unusual Suspects launched our new business true crime series by Kelly Arnold, Minnect, Suits and Sinners. It has already 10,000 views so far. So if you haven't seen it, we will drop the link in the chat with the description. Kelly, are you going to play anything, or we're just going to show you have the graphic? Okay. That being said, guys, I love you guys to death. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Click on the notification bell. And yeah, guys, have a great weekend, a safe weekend, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace and love.
Peace and love.